Hey guys, we are live. We are live on YouTube and Twitch. I got a returning guest coming back with us. His name is Eric, the college picker. How are you doing today, bro?
I'm doing great. I dropped off some packages this morning. I went to a Salvation Army and found some good stuff to sell and keep. So I'm actually really doing good today.
Hey man, you sound just like me. I went to the post office, shipped out my packages of stuff that I sold over the weekend, and then on after I left the post office, first thing I did is hit the thrift store. So, if I can walk into the thrift store and turn $5 into $100 and be in and out the door in 5 minutes, I'm happy with that.
Yeah,
So
it's a consistency
so anyway,
game. It's doing it whenever it's convenient like that, and I have success doing it that style.
right. I mean, it's like, you're like a block or two away from the thrift store and I'm going to the post office anyway. So I was like, hey, I'll just, make a
Hmm.
pit stop in here and look around. But anyways, I'm super excited to have you on the channel today, man. I always enjoy hanging out talking with you. So first of all, go ahead and introduce yourself to our audience, just in case they don't know who you are for whatever reason.
Sure. My name's Eric, also known on YouTube as the College Picker. I picked that name back when I was in college. I studied undergrad at University of South Florida, and then I went to pharmacy school at Florida A&M University in Tallahassee. I've been selling before undergrad. I think I started selling in like 2007, and now it's 2021. It's been a long time. I was selling stuff like pre-smartphone era, and yeah, I kind of do it full time. I guess I do social media as well as flipping stuff. I don't have a regular 9 to 5 job, so
Yeah. So
I guess I
so
could be
there's a
considered
couple.
full time.
Yeah, there's so much stuff I want to talk to you about today. But first of all, you live in Dallas now. You moved since I talked to you last,
Yeah,
right?
since last time I talked to you, I was in Midland, which is about 5 hours west of here. That's a
Okay.
life update. We're in a way better city now, close to an airport.
So I got a question for you, Eric. You don't have any kids right now, do you? Right? You have no
No,
kids right now, right?
we've been trying for a little over 2 years and going to
Oh.
doctors and stuff, figuring all that stuff out. But yeah, no kids.
So you don't have any like any bombs or anything like that you could drop on the live stream today. You don't have any on the way yet, right?
Nope.
And so you anyways.
No kids, no
So
pets. We got some plants.
I don't think plants and kids are the same
Yeah,
thing,
no,
but
it's I mean it's
we'll
alive and we take care of it. That's like the only thing we have that we have to take
yeah,
care
you
of in the
water it.
house.
Okay.
Yeah,
So so
it's
Eric is a
easy.
full-time reseller and content creator. Basically you're an entrepreneur. You're a reseller, you're a YouTuber, you live in Dallas, and you've been hustling, been doing this thing since a long time. So tell everybody how
Hmm.
you first got started into reselling, because I think you got started right around your college age years. So go ahead and tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I had bought and sold stuff like really late in high school, like a little bit here and there. But once I got into college, I had my own space. I kind of figured and carved my own niche, selling motorcycles actually. So I would buy and sell motorcycles off of Craigslist, and then sell some of the parts on eBay. If I was like upgrading an exhaust, I would sell like the old exhaust for parts on eBay to kind of reduce the cost of the motorcycle. Or if it was a bike that was completely messed up, and we would just part it out or whatever. So we had a garage like full of motorcycles, and we were buying and selling them on Craigslist and then selling parts on eBay. And then eventually I moved to go to pharmacy school in 2009, in the summer of 2009. And that's when I started going to like garage sales and thrift stores more so, because I didn't have the space to store the motorcycles. So I needed to get into like smaller things. So I was getting into like bicycles, clothing, shoes was kind of smaller, more, I don't know, it's easy to store things than motorcycles.
Yeah, for sure. So you needed to make some extra money. You started kind of flipping, reselling on the side. You went to college. You got your degree, you said, in pharmacy. So why did you decide not to like pursue that? Did you try it out for 6 months and then say,
Yeah.
this whole
I
thing ain't for
worked
me, or what?
I worked a little bit, paid off the loans, saved up a little bit of money, and then just kind of took it easy because I really don't like working for like the big chains. And I had some success and enjoyment in small contracts for the government, like on Indian reservations. But even that, I had to kind of give it up because my wife doesn't like living out in the middle of nowhere. So it's just it's just like this works for me. So there's no reason to do something different.
So Eric, the thing is, I don't mean to to dig into your business, Ben, but people that are pharmacy techs, those guys make big bucks. I mean, we're talking at least we're starting out 6 figures a year. So I mean, just like your little pharmacy tech that you see at Walgreens.
Not the technician, the guy in charge of the technicians. So it's the guy that actually like has the legal authority to dispense the medication. For the pharmacy can't be open without a pharmacist on site. So
right.
Yeah, they get paid. The starting salaries are like 6 figures, maybe really low or high 90s for like hospitals and stuff. But yeah, like Walgreens, CVS, Walmart, you're gonna start like 110 to like 120, maybe 130, depending on where you live.
So you decided to walk away from that to be a reseller?
Oh, I was reselling while I was doing that, and I just was like, it's not fun compared to it. And reselling, you can make that much doing reselling. You really can if you put your head down and get the systems right and find good products and list high value items that are in demand. You can definitely approach that or exceed that depending on how you scale it. And I think this year we're going to get pretty close to it.
No, I know for sure. I agree with what you're saying. I was just curious. I was just kind of wondering because you had to go to school for a long time. Tell people how long you had. Tell people how long you had to go to school to get the degree to be a pharmacist. Tell them how long you were in school.
I was in school total of 7 years. 3 was before pharmacy school, and then 4 of pharmacy school. So the 3 years I would have done regardless, and then the 4 years maybe I could have gotten back and not done. But it's whatever. You learn. I mean, I got friends out of it.
Well, that's cool. You got friends out of it. And the cool thing about me and you, Eric, is even though like I'm in Florida and you're in Texas, we're on the same page about being out of debt because you've been debt free since what, 2018?
Yeah.
So you don't have any, you're out of debt. So that's awesome. And if nothing else, a lot of people, man, they go to college and whether they finish the degree or not, they still have these student loan debt hanging over their head. Mm-hmm. You don't have any of that stuff. You don't have any credit card bills. You don't have any student loans. You don't have any car payments. So you can kind of come and go as you please, basically. So you're not like handcuffed to have to work a 10, 12-hour job if you didn't want to.
And I'm very lucky to have realized this earlier in life because there's some people that don't realize that until they're already in their 40s or 50s or 60s even. And they're like, wow, where did my life go? I just spent it like 9-10 hours a day between the commute and lunch breaks and the 8 to 9 hours a day that you're doing work. You really give it up to like an employer. So
I'm with you, bro. I'm with you. I worked 10 years doing this corporate grind from 06 to 2016. And I know what you're saying exactly, especially when it's like, thought you were going to have a 4-day weekend. Psych, you have to work Saturday, Sunday. So I definitely have been there. Let me say hello here real quick to a few people in the chat. I wanted to say hey to LKL Graphics. Keith is here in the chat. Wanted to say hey to the 5 resellers. I don't know if you know them or not, but they recently hit 1,000 subscribers. I wanted to say hey real quick I wanted to say hey to Terry Picker Flipper is here in the chat. Wanted to say hey to Greg is here. Rocky Mountain Resell is here. Wanted to say hey to Javela Flips. Annie is here. Mike is here in the chat, and I wanted to say hey to Keith. So first, let me catch up with some of these questions. Keith wants to know, hey Eric, what part of Texas is it stormy down there by the coast?
I'm in Dallas, so it's not the coast. I think he's saying it's stormy down here. He's probably by the coast. Yeah, there's a tropical storm coming up, so be safe with that. You never know if it's going to dump inches or a foot of rain or something. It could be catastrophic to a place that's not used to that. So be careful. Yeah. But yeah, we're good. We're cloudy outside. No rain or nothing.
Mike wants to know, is our guest today a mainly eBay reseller? So is that your main platform you resell on is eBay?
Right now it is. I've done Amazon heavily in the past where that has been greatly more of my pie. But right now it's eBay and Facebook Marketplace and YouTube, I guess, if you're looking at like total income. But for reselling, it's mostly eBay and then a little bit of Facebook Marketplace, a little bit of Amazon.
Guys, if you guys don't know Eric, the college picker, he's like a legend in this community. Like he was one of the OGs, like him, Bonafide Hustler, some of those guys. Are you guys still doing the green room or not?
The coronavirus stuff, I probably shouldn't have even said that because now YouTube's gonna like dock this in their algorithm.
Don't worry about it.
Since the virus stuff,
let's just say lockdown instead.
Yeah,
okay,
we weren't able to do a meetup, and then I've been kind of doing my own thing. Chris is kind of doing his own thing. Steve's kind of doing his own thing. So the people that were in the group, we still have a group. It's not as active anymore. So it's kind of just gone different ways. So not so much.
Okay, cool. I wanted to give a shout out here real quick to the Niche Seller is here. And I wanted to catch up a few questions here real quick. Cherry Picker Flipper says, what do you resell the most of? So what is your niche that you sell the most of, Eric?
This year I actually got really heavy into golf stuff. I grew up in Florida. I never flipped golf stuff, and I really got into it this year. And I was thinking about it today. I was like, what? Like, if I were to break it down, I sell a golf bag like every maybe week or 2 a week. So that's like in men's clothing. Golf stuff, men's clothing is well, men's clothing is like so big, but yeah, men's clothing and golf stuff right now, electronics. But it seems like I'm
Okay,
always
cool.
selling a golf bag. Like a golf bag is always going out the door.
So Rocky Mountain Resale says, hey, Eric, any advice on what to look for in car, bike racks, things to always pass on? Would you pick up any without a key included? Thanks.
Sure. So the bike racks, I'm guessing he's saying the ones that actually hold the bikes, because there's roof racks that are just like for anything. You can attach stuff to the roof racks, but then there's bike racks that go on hitches, they go on trunks, they go on hatches, they go on the roof of for bike racks as well. And I would say just look at the brand, because the brands always like free advertising, so they put the brands on their products because you're driving around with it, so they're getting free advertising off of their product because you're driving around with it. So I would say just look at the brand. If that brand is sold at REI, rei.com, then it's probably a good brand, because REI only sells pretty good bike racks. So, and if you are completely new, I would just go to rei.com, or if you have an REI local, just like go into the store, look around. You'll see Thule is one, Yakima is a good brand, Kuat, KU, it's a U umlaut AT is a good brand, and those are the main 3 that do bike stuff. And if it's any of those, it's probably gonna have some good value to it. And for the key question, there it said if it they are things always pass on. So if it's not branded, and if it's not branded and cheap, if if it's like $5, maybe you could still get it and flip it locally for like 30 to 40. But if it's not branded, I usually just pass on it. Like I passed on like 3 bike racks at an estate sale just because they were like unbranded ones. Allen
Okay.
is a pretty cheap brand. And then with or without the key included, it wouldn't make a difference to me because the keys can be removed. So
Okay, awesome. I wanted to say, hey, real quick to the 5 resellers. They say, hey, Jeff and Eric. Eric, do you still enjoy reselling now as much as you did when you first started? And how is it different now?
that's a good question. I would say I don't get as excited about stuff as I used to, because it used to be like super excited all the time. Like finding stuff, selling stuff is like super excitement, dopamine. But now I think because you've had that dopamine so much that the receptors are just like used to it. So you want to get bigger flips to get more excited. I'd say that the numbness kind of comes with it. But
Yeah.
I've grown my knowledge base so much since I've started. So I sometimes don't even have to look stuff up, because it's just like, okay, I know this style will be fine. The price is
Yeah.
right. Like the risk, there's like no risk. So
Yeah. It's funny, man, is
it
after
just
you've been
becomes
doing it for a
easier.
while. I was gonna say it's funny after you've been doing it for a while. Like today, I went to the thrift store, and instead of being like, "Hey, this is a item here. I picked it up for 75 cents, and it's gonna sell for $30," I just like put it like in like the little pile, like in a shopping cart, like I'm shopping for groceries or something. You know, it's like, oh, this is a
Mhm.
$20 item. This is 30. This is 15, and I'm just got like a big pile of them piled up, like I'm shopping for groceries or something. So, hey, Eric, I wanted to ask you a question while I have you here, because I don't know when I'm going to get a chance to talk to you again. Me and you were on the same page as far as getting out of debt. And I wanted to talk to you real quick about having multiple streams of income. So you have your reselling gig that you do, which you basically buy items at a low price, you resell them on eBay. You have your YouTube channel, but what other streams of income do you have coming in every month to help cover the bills? Because since you have like a nomadic lifestyle, like one of those laptop lifestyles that people talk about all the time, and you're not locked into like a 8 or 10 hour like shift working a job. What are other streams of income that you have or projects that you're working on?
Sure. Okay, that's a good question. So, I own stocks and ETFs, and those can pay a dividend. So every time, I think it's quarterly, is I think most of the ones that I own. So every 3 months on the dividend date, it'll pay me like a small percentage of whatever the dividend is. One fourth of the dividend will be deposited into my bank account. So it's basically like the most passive style of income that I get, and that's just from holding these equities, holding the stocks or holding the index funds. That's one, and that's a location independent for anybody. Another one is it's associated with the YouTube, but it's affiliates where people buy stuff through Amazon and they use a recommendation that I have made, or they found value in my video and they click through my link that tracks Amazon tracks that sale, and they'll kick me back like 3 to 5% of the commission of that sale. So that's kind of connected to YouTube, but it's different in the way that's not just through ads, it's through affiliates. So it's like an extra step. And another thing you can do is also through YouTube is sponsor. You can do sponsorships with companies where you give away a product or you shout out their product, or I even do commissioned tutorials for companies that need customer support or like help with installation. So I can charge companies to make videos showing people how to install. Like I've been doing that with thermal printers, where I show people how to install the thermal printers, and I can basically commission that, get that commission from the company. And then even if I have a video that is already published that they want to use, I've also licensed those videos to companies to use privately for marketing or for whatever. It's just all connected within YouTube, but it's kind of different than just affiliate or just Google AdSense, which most people think about when for YouTube.
Okay, awesome. So that's cool. Greg said for Rocky Mountain Resource has got to run. Hey, that's cool. You can catch the replay. Have a good day, Greg. I wanted to say hey to the 5 resellers is in the chat. Javela Flips Annie is here. LKL Graphics Keith and the Niche Seller. And Greg says appreciate the help, Eric. Always enjoying learning from you. Hope Andy is doing great. Bye all. Okay, cool. Well, you can catch the replay. If not, you have a good day, and we'll catch you later. So, Eric, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about your reselling business. What are like some really hot items that you've been selling lately, and what is your plan coming up for Q4?
My golf stuff has just been crazy in the summer. It's because of COVID. It's because of the golf tournaments that just I think I don't know. I'm not even follow the golf, but the golf tournaments that just happened. The Masters was earlier, I think, in March, and golf stuff has been selling. The summer season just has been going crazy for me because people can play it without the restriction of the social distancing or whatever. Like, so the golf has taken off a lot over the last, I don't know, year or two, even more so than it already was in popularity. So golf stuff has been just selling crazy for me. And then for Q4, I really don't do preparation. I just keep doing what I'm doing actually. So.
All right. Now, since I have you here on the channel, you got to give us drop some knowledge on us and tell the people in the chat how they can make money buying stuff from pawn shops and flipping them and reselling them. That's one of my favorite places to go sourcing at. Like I shop at pawn shops like some people shop at thrift stores because you can get merchandise cheap. You can sometimes get stuff that's brand new in the plastic. They're willing to kind of haggle and negotiate a little bit like a flea market would or a yard sale, and they have to move product. People don't know when you're at pawn shops, guys, they have clearance section just like Walmart has a clearance section. Pawn shops have a clearance section, and stuff that's been sitting for a while, they have to move it. I mean, I think for a while back, I bought this bread maker for $1. $1. Wow. That's all they wanted.
They just wanted to move it, so they didn't throw it away.
Right, and it's because it's stuff that's taking up space on their shelf, and they've got to move this product. So, talk to us a little bit about flipping stuff from pawn shops to eBay. Can you drop some knowledge on us real quick?
Yeah, just like anywhere else, you can source from pawn shops. It's a place where people are buying valuable items, or they're just loaning money out as for the collateral of the item. So usually there is some sort of value in the items there. You just have to know more about the pawn shops than they do. or you got to catch it when it's on clearance or on the markdown, because a lot of the corporate pawn shops have markdowns every 6 months or it might be 6 months, 8 months or whatever for Cash America, but they do mark them down. If you're friends with the man, or if you're cordial with the manager, usually they'll be able to cut you a deal if you figure out who's in charge, and be nice to them, show up, talk to them. I don't know, bring them some food or donuts, or give them some pizza gift cards or something to help them out. Let them know that you appreciate them. But if you can fix broken stuff, you're going to do a lot better at the pawn shops also, because they sometimes will get stuff that is broken. They didn't know it was broken, or it will break sometimes since it entered the doors. And I did that a lot last year. I had a really good run with broken laptops from pawn shops, especially when work from home and school from home was getting really popular. So I would buy them and then sell them like immediately, like the same day or the next day on Facebook Marketplace. So it's just literally knowing enough about a product to where you can find the deal, because they aren't experts on every single thing. They have a depending on the pawn shop, but they have like a central database, at least Cash America does, where they look up the model number, and then based off of the last, like they have their own completed listings within their database where they look at the last sold of that model, and then they'll base their sale off of, or their price off of that.
Yeah, and the cool thing is that each one of these pawn shops are always different. I mean, there's one pawn shop that I'll go to and they'll sell me PS2, PS3, Nintendo Wii, Xbox 360 games for $1 a piece. They just want $1. They don't care what it is, $1 a piece. I'll pile 50, 60 of them on the counter and check out and get out of there before they start asking too many questions. Like one game that I picked up, for example, was this NFL head coach game. They think that all sports games are worthless, but you can pick it up for $1 and turn around and resell it for $30 all day long on eBay.
Oh, is the head coach worth $30?
Yeah.
I'm familiar with that game, but I've never sold it. It's for PS2, right? It's like this head coach PS2 game.
It's well, I picked it up on PS3, but I think they have it on PS2 as well. But I'm just using that as an example. Like everybody knows, like that college NCAA football 2014, you can pick up stuff for cheap for $1 that they have no idea about. You know, NFL Street, NBA Street games. If you know about that stuff, you can pick it up cheap. Pick up DVDs for 50 cents. Sometimes I'll get like box sets of The Simpsons or something. But anyways, if you go there and look around, you may not strike gold in the very first one. Sometimes I might have to hit 5 or 10 of them in one day to find one that's really going to be a gold mine. But let me say hello.
It's totally a numbers game. If you expect to just go into one and crush it, like that's not going to happen. I'm sorry. It's very, very unlikely that's an unreasonable expectation. Yeah, you're going to have to go to a lot of shops a lot of times to establish the relationships, to get an idea of how they work, and then finding the ones that acquire the inventory that you like. Because some of the shops here will do a lot of shoes. Some of them will do a lot of handbags. Some of them will do a lot of electronics. Some of them won't even take golf stuff. So you have to kind of like figure out what works for you and what you know about.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're all different. Like I went to this Cash America and they were like, hey, come by. We're having this big sale. And they had this big tent outside and they had snacks and refreshments. They had this boombox blaring, and they were like, hey, come on in. And they were selling stuff just like it was almost like a yard sale or something. So
you just got to know sales. They'll do tent sales. Right. Cash America will sometimes. Yeah, I like when they do that, when they're blasting music and chilling.
Right, they're just blasting music like, hey, come on in. So they're pretty cool. Let me say hello real quick to Javela Flips Annie. Prison of Profit is here. Hey, Prison of Profit, man. I could have swore I saw you on Cincinnati Pickers channel the other day. There's a guy that looked just like you. I think that was you. I wanted to say hey to Dixon's Pixons real quick. I wanted to say hey to Mike is in the chat. Cali Reseller Louise is here. Hey, thanks for coming by and hanging out with us. Mike asked a question. He wants to know, how many listings do you currently have on eBay?
We're normally under a 300 item store, but we've been ramping it up. I think I'm at like 330 or 340 right now. So nothing crazy. Like we're not a crazy thousands and thousands of item store. We're very, very, very small. We're in a small 2-bedroom apartment. So.
All right, cool. Prison to Profit says, hey, thanks for the great content, Eric. Your videos saved my printing issues a few months ago. Yeah, for sure.
Happy to help. Yeah.
Tell everybody. Eric, tell everybody a little bit about your YouTube strategy. So back in the day, you used to do like sourcing videos, what sold videos, things like that. And now you kind of switched it up a little bit to doing more like technical issues. So talk to us a little bit about what your strategy is on YouTube.
I've always liked tech. I've always appreciated electronics. I've always liked fixing things, and I never really brought it to YouTube until about 2 years ago. And I was doing, yeah, I just started using YouTube to share, like, to meet people that know how to, like, enjoy thrifting and know how to thrift, and to kind of become part of that community. And now that community has gotten so big to where I can't keep up with everybody. There used to be like 10 people that did it, and now I think there's maybe 1,000 that make videos about hauls, and more so about eBay and thrifting in general. But that's like such a small portion of YouTube viewers, where I've been trying to cast like a bigger net. So I've been creating tutorials that might help somebody that does eBay or thrifting or reselling, but it also could help somebody that does Poshmark. Could help somebody that runs their Shopify business, that doesn't even sell stuff from thrift stores, that sources products from China, that has a printer that has problems, or somebody that needs to print invoices. I'm just trying to cast like a bigger small business net, to provide more value to the world. It's all about providing value. So
Right, for sure. So, do you have any tips or tricks or advice you could give to somebody if they're a new content creator, or they're someone that's trying to grow their channel, grow their audience? Because you've been doing YouTube way longer than I have. So, what
yeah,
advice
I'm
would you
almost
have to
like a
help them
decade.
grow their channel?
I'm a decade in, and you got to do something that's sustainable for you. Like I've done 200 something vlogs, but I figured that's not sustainable. I personally enjoy teaching and technical problems more so than entertainment value. Like, I don't want to jump on and try to be entertaining to people. I'd rather solve a problem for them, and then that's I'm perfectly okay with that. Like, that's more of my style. It took me a while to like figure that out, but to me that's sustainable for me. And I'm more, you got to figure out what will work for you. And it took me literally like 8 or 9 years to figure this out. And don't
Okay,
expect
cool.
it to happen overnight. Like,
Yeah, well, you've been doing it for
don't
10 years,
expect it
so
to
that's what
blow
I'm
up
saying.
overnight. Anything.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, if you've been doing this for 10 years, so
Yeah,
you've
and
had
I've done it for 10 years,
longevity.
and it still hasn't blown. It still hasn't blown up over 10 years. So it's like, and I'm not discouraged at all. Like, I'm perfectly okay with it.
So,
It's
Eric,
good.
have you had any like viral videos on your channel that you can tell us about?
No, nothing has ever gone viral. Everything's just been slow, consistent, trackable growth because of SEO, or it's just um, it's ran its course through my subscribers that wanted to watch it. If it's a video that's like
Uh-huh.
a family vlog or something, like, my subscribers would watch it, and then it kind of fades away, and then me and my family will like
Yeah,
go back and watch it like 5, 10 years, or like 5 years down the road, and enjoy it
yeah,
ourselves. So some of that kind of stuff just drops off, and then some stuff is just slow, predictable problem solving. So
yeah. So,
it is a different strategy.
I haven't got a chance to talk to you in like a year, so I got to ask you this. I know you like to travel a lot. What's happening with you in your life in the past year since I got a chance to talk to you? And what is your goals? Like, what would you like to do over the next 3, 4, 5 years? Like, what is your future plans? I mean, are you going to settle down and have a family and kids and be, the
We've
college?
been trying.
You could be,
Yeah,
you
we've
could be,
been
you could be
trying.
grandpa college picker. You right?
Yeah,
The grandpa college picker, right?
we've been doing a lot of inter United States travel. Like, I haven't been abroad since the pandemic. We've just been going to Florida to visit family, and then I think I've been to Ohio, I think, once, driven there, or maybe driving there this week. But yeah, it's just been all inter United States for travel. I think I talked about this last time. I said I wanted to get into real estate. Still haven't got into real estate. Just saving money for that. Always afraid to take the plunge because the market's always the highest, and it just keeps
Yeah.
going higher. So I hope to get some sort of property within the next couple of years. And yeah, we do want a family. It might have to be the what is the test tube baby, in vitro fertilization, I think it is. It might have to be
Oh,
that,
really?
but we have money saved up for that as well. But
Okay,
we
so
don't know if that
you
for
would like
sure
to
is
have
the
a
way we have to
family.
go.
You're going to be doing traveling, but I mean, do you have anything else? Any other big goals or projects or anything else that you see yourself doing, like next two,
I
three,
was
4 or 5 years down the
yeah,
road?
I was working on an app that's kind of been on the back burner. I'd like to get that going again. So maybe an app next year or later this year that has to do with eBay and reselling. We're the goal of saving $1 million or having $1 million net worth. Me and my wife, we did our calculation. We should be around there in 5 years if everything goes according to plan, and then hopefully we'll
All
have a
right.
property by then as well.
Yeah, well, congratulations in advance. I'm happy for you. Let me say hello here real quick to LKL Graphics. Heath is in the house. I wanted to say hey to Prison to Profit. Wanted to say hey to Javela Flips Annie. I wanted to say hey to Baskets Resell is here. He says awesome content. And Lester Jones is here in the house. We got a question. Says Eric, I love the channel and knowledge that you share. What has been your favorite item that you have found? And do you collect anything?
I don't collect anything, but I get like a favorite item of the year. And this year, my favorite item so far has been the snowboard that I picked up while I was on. Oh, I went to Maine a couple of months ago. I forgot about that trip. Yeah, I was in Maine and I picked up a snowboard. Not in Maine. I think it might have been in Rhode Island. One of those northeast New England states. I can't I can't remember exactly which one it was, but it was a snowboard that I picked up for $7.99 at Goodwill. And I did some research on it, and I did a estimate from this vintage snowboard Facebook group, and they said it's worth at least $2,000. So that's like my favorite find of this year.
All right. Now,
I don't really collect anything though.
Like, what's one of your biggest flips that you've had, like all time? Like, tell them about one of your all time.
The jean jacket was the biggest one. It was a 1952 Levi's Biggie blanket line jacket, and that one sold for $5,700.
And how much did you pay for it?
$1.50. But I don't think that's my favorite find. It's
right.
Okay. Yeah. It was a good flip,
right.
But the snowboard for me was fun because it was like tracking down all these people that were like involved in actually making it. Like I know who painted it. I know the guy that designed the bottom now. Like it was all this research I had to do. It was cool.
So hey, I got a question. Are you going to do any collab videos with Bonafide Hustler? Says he lives in Texas too. He lives in Austin, right? I believe he does. Are you going to do any collab videos with him in the future?
There's nothing scheduled. He's doing a lot of stuff with working his workout channel and training private clients. He's so busy with all that stuff. So nothing really scheduled now.
All right, cool. Now you've been doing YouTube and reselling way longer than me. So go ahead and drop some knowledge for us. What would be like your top 3 pieces of advice to help somebody with their reselling business? Like if they were like, hey, I'm starting reselling, I want to make more money. What do I need to be doing?
Use your phone for sure to your advantage. Look up everything. Don't just look at active, look at sold. Don't just look at sold, look at how many have sold. Don't just look at how many have sold, but look at how many have sold in that color or in that condition. Don't like rationalize, oh, I'll just buy it. I'll just take the gamble. I'll just take the risk because that risk will just end up in a pile, and then that pile will just like drive you crazy to look at. Having a clean workspace is incredibly different. Well, it's going to be different for everybody, but having a clean workspace for me is so important. And I've been there to where it's like piles have built up of stuff, and it's just like, okay, this is like too much. Like my profit margin needs to be this, like $10, $20, $30 an item is not going to work for me anymore. And eventually you'll pick a price point that you're okay with. And that comes with experience as well. It's saying yes, I'm going to buy this, and saying no, I'm not going to buy this is like discipline that comes with experience.
Yeah, for sure. I think as I've been doing reselling for a while, I'm starting to figure out like, okay, how long is this item going to take me to actually list? How long is it going to take for this item to sell? You can look up sold comps. And also, I try to stay away from items that I don't like. Like, I don't like clothing. So even if I can get it for free, even if I get clothing for free and it's worth money, if I don't actually list it on the platform, it's not going to make me any money. It's just going to be sitting there taking up space and collecting dust. So I've been trying to get like my mental block game off of this. Like, okay, it may be worth money, but if you hate listing it, you hate taking measurements, you hate shipping it, why are you going to pick it up? Just pass on it and move to something else that you enjoy. Because it's like, yeah, okay, it may make you this much money, but how much time is it going to take you to list it? And if you hate taking the photographs and measurements and all that, just skip it and move on to something else. You only have so many hours in a day. Now, I wanted to talk to you about profit margins because you got to look. There's got to be decent profit margins when you're flipping the item. So, what's your strategy when you're looking at items? Like, what kind of profit margins are you looking for? What type of like sell through rate? What is it that you sit down and look at trying to decide if you're going to purchase this item for resale or not?
So we like our clothing to sell for more than $50 a piece. Sometimes we'll settle for offers if it's been sitting for a while for like 30 to 40, but we try to pick up stuff that we've sold in the past or pretty confident that it will sell for over $50 a piece. And for other items, I really like it to be over $100 sale if it's a hard good. Or if it's super duper small though, then I'm okay with it being a little bit cheaper. So it just depends. Like if it's a big item, sometimes I won't even mess with it or pick it up. Like there was an espresso machine at a estate sale that I could have made $200 on, but I was like, man, I have another espresso machine I got to list. But it's just like I don't have a lack of inventory, so sometimes I'll just have to pass on stuff on that. But I try to shoot for over $100 on hard goods and then over $50 on soft goods because it keeps your ASP high. It keeps you a little bit more excited about what you're doing, and it keeps your hourly rate of what you're actually doing like pretty high.
Yeah. So where are some of the places that you like going sourcing at the most? You still do yard sales and thrift stores and things like that? Like where are some of the do you have a route? Where are some of the places
We
that
don't
you
really
like
have a
to
route,
hit up?
but actually, since the last time I talked to you, a big thing that happened in my life is actually my wife likes going to thrift stores now. She hated it before, but it took
Oh,
her
really?
yeah, she hated it. She hated going. She would always stay in the car. So, but she actually has found like some really good things, and that triggered something in her brain where she's like, okay, all of her preconceived thoughts about thrifting, not finding good stuff is gone because she's found some like really good stuff at Goodwill. And she's into women's clothing. So that's something that I wouldn't have even touched anyway. So it's like really good to be able to have another pair of eyes to go in. So we have been, me and my wife have been going to thrift stores, and she literally just got into it about a month ago. So this is like so fresh that she's just getting into it, and she's getting really, really good at it, what she's picking, some really good stuff. And that's where, if you've been following me on Instagram, like I've been posting a lot of like women's dresses. It's because it's just stuff that she's been finding to like cater more to the female audience on Instagram that watches my stuff. So I hope they have been enjoying it.
Yeah.
But we've
So
been doing estate sales. We've been doing estate sales a lot more than yard sales or flea market. We haven't done flea markets. It's just estate sales and thrift stores right now.
so does she have her own eBay account, or do you guys just
No,
share the same
we
one?
posted in the same one, and then she does Poshmark. So Poshmark, she runs that, and a lot of the clothing that she does has some enough following on Poshmark, I think, to make some money.
Yeah. All right. So how long have you been reselling now? Tell them when you first started reselling. How long has it been? Like 07, 08? Like what year was that?
Yeah, I graduated high school in 2006, and I started college in 07, and I sold stuff. I remember selling like a computer in high school on eBay and buying some stuff off eBay. But then I would say it would probably be fall 2006, spring 2007 is when I started.
Yeah. And what's like do you have any major lessons that you've learned from reselling like over the years, or any type of stories or knowledge that you can pass down to us?
I reiterate, keep your space clean. Like it keeps your head straight. It's easier to work when your space is clean. It's easier to find inventory when it's organized. It's easier to have people over the house when it's not crazy. Like I can't reiterate like how important it is for me to have a clean car and to have a clean space.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. Well, we've had you on the show for about, I guess, 40 minutes. I'm trying to keep this around 45 minutes. Let everybody know where they can go by and check you out at on YouTube and Instagram. I have all your links listed down below, but let them know where they can go by and check you out.
Instagram at the college picker. That's where I post actually most of my thrift content because it's a lot easier to do it from a phone. Just snap a picture, take a short video than it is to take a vlogging camera into Goodwill and tell of the entire day and then go home and edit it. I haven't really been doing that anymore. I really like the Instagram stories for showing and educating about thrift stuff. And then on YouTube at the college picker, I do tutorials, and if I fix something, I'll record it and put it up for other people to see. And if they want to fix it, hopefully it will help them to repair something that otherwise would have been thrown away or put in the trash or something.
So, Eric, are you on TikTok? I know you're going to think it's a silly question.
I've never installed TikTok on my phone. I've never seen.
So you're not a TikToker.
I haven't done any TikTok. No app on my phone. Never even seen it on anyone else's phone. I see the TikToks like posted on Instagram. That's as close as I get to TikToking.
All right, cool.
Let me great, but I'm already like so deep and like spread out into projects and time, so I don't want to start.
Let me say hello. Let me say hello real quick to Prison to Profit. Wanted to say hey to AR Edwards Vintage Flips. Wanted to say hey to LKL Graphics Heath. Javela Flips Annie is in the house. Baskets Resells is here. Lester Jones. Dixon's Pixons is here in the chat. And Kelly Reseller Louise. And Mike is here. And anybody else in the chat I missed. So, Eric, do you have any final words of wisdom that you can leave us with for today?
Thanks everybody that was watching. And if you want more sales, you got to list more items.
Yeah, that makes sense. You got to list more items to make more sales. All right, guys. So go ahead. If you guys get a chance, go follow our guest. All the links for YouTube and Instagram is going to be down below. And hopefully I get to see you again soon. Hopefully it won't be, 11, 12 months where I get the chance to talk to you again. One more question. Yeah. Do you have any reseller meetups that you're going to be doing anytime soon? Anything that you can tell us about?
There's nothing that I know of that I'm going to. All
right.
I think there's one in Las Vegas coming up, but I'm not going to that one.
All right,
but
cool.
Yeah, no in-person meetups that I know of that I have on the schedule for this year or next year.
All right, guys. Well, go ahead and follow our guest. All the links are going to be down below for YouTube, Instagram, and you might be able to learn something because he's way more technically savvy and skilled than I am, and you might learn some stuff. So go ahead and follow our guest. And until we see you guys again next time, you guys have a great day. And I have a new guest coming on, or a guest tomorrow. It's going to be 5 p.m. Eastern. We're going to have Jakob Benz is going to be on tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern. So I'll see you then. Go ahead and follow our guest. I'll see you guys later. Have a great day, guys. Bye.
Thanks for having me on, Jeff. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
All right.